Okay. Right. This is Paul Lancaster from the Sage 1 UK and Ireland team, and today I'm joined with Stephen Jones from the online field sales team at Sage, and Paul Donno from One Accounts Online. Hi, Paul. Hi, Stephen.
How are you doing?
Yeah, good.
Yeah,
Thanks.
hi, Paul.
So the purpose of today, we thought we'd do a hangout to talk about the value in using your website and social media to attract new cloud-based clients to your practice. So Stephen, it was yourself who suggested this as a topic for a hangout. So do you just want to go into a bit more background about why you think this is important?
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Paul. It's been a big part of my role to help businesses develop into the online space going forward. So when we've been out visiting lots of practices and lots of bookkeepers, I've visited about 160 now. You know, they're very keen on web design and web building. And when we look at their websites, there's a couple of scenarios. They either, one, don't have a website, or two, you know, they've had a website or a presence that's been there, but it's never been updated or changed for a long time. Also, there's a little bit sort of maybe naivety or sort of reluctance with social media as well. So when I start going into the discussions and having a chat about sort of having an online space, having a website, you know, I talk about living a customer's journey. So, you know, a new customer going forward, how do they search for a website? How do they look for an accountant, and how interactive and sort of good is the website to be able to give information based on what they're looking for? So, I mean, a lot of the websites that I've seen in the past are, you know, they're bland, you know, they're sort of not attractive to a new business client. You know, it's like somebody's just got a cookie cutter over the last few years and just made a website and just made it like a presence, and that's all it is, really. It's just something to say, this is who we are, this is the services we provide, this is how we contact us. And for me, that's not very interactive, you know. There's a lot more attractive looking websites like Paul's out there. And I've used Paul's as an example on numerous occasions, and it's always very well received when they look at Paul's website, and they're always very interested in it. So I suppose the purpose of today was to get Paul involved in sort of the do's and don'ts when Paul created his website, and sort of what he was aiming for and what his inspirations for. So that's what I'm trying to get out of it, and this will be passed on to everybody, hopefully, to sort of build a little bit of inspiration for people building websites.
Great. Okay, Paul. Well, you've been bigged up quite a bit there. Do you want to talk a little bit about yourself and your background? Because this is a relatively new business, isn't it, and a new website for yourself. I know you've been an accountant for a long time, but One Accounts Online is relatively new, isn't it?
Yeah, hi Paul, hi Stephen. One Accounts Online is fairly new. It started in December last year, so we're nearly a year old. I've been in practice for just over 20 years, mainly traditional practice, although we've built on the back of the Sage 50 brand. I love the online experience, really, and I do believe that that's the way forward for us as accountants. So I left my traditional practice and set up a purely online accountancy practice, and it has gone from strength to strength. But the first thing that we needed was a website and a brand. So we looked at a brand. We tried to align with Sage 1, and we've come up with One Accounts. Now, the beauty of One Accounts is it's 1 and A is the top of every single list that you come to. So if you go to any list, we're at the top of it. And also, you know, the website had to make sure that that brand was consistent across the website. So we didn't go with a traditional sort of pie cutter type, as Stephen's just mentioned. We went to a local design office, a web designer, and they helped us with the brand and they helped us with the website. And that took 3 months to get up and running, that website. But we're very, very happy with it, and it's aligned with our Sage 1, really. So you'll notice the little circles in the website. They're all very much similar to the Sage website as well. And it's the website is working fantastically for us, absolutely fantastic.
Great. Yeah. Well, I must admit, the first time I saw it, I mean, I've been following you on Twitter for a while, and I was aware of you and all the great work you've been doing. But then when I saw your website, it did really stand out to me. As soon as I saw it, I thought that is a really good website, and there's actually quite a few things on there that I think are maybe even slightly better than some of the things that we do on the main Sage One website. So I was looking at it again last night. And I was thinking we need to do something a bit like that on some of our pages. Yeah, that's really interesting for me and our team that we can learn from accountants as well about what works when we're trying certain target audiences. Also, even things like the color. It's pink, isn't it? And it stands out. It's a bright color, and I think in some of your photos you usually wear a pink shirt with your suit as well. So that you've obviously put a bit of thought into it that you're going to carry that brand, that theme through lots of different things that you do, and something as so simple as a color can work really well.
Yeah, you'll see on the website that we have the one. So we have one account. The pink is actually Rubens red on the Pantone chart.
Is it? Right, okay.
Yeah. But we use it everywhere, and we do try and associate the number one in the square, with the colour as well, and we bring that across everything we do.
Okay. So the other thing as well, you said about it took 3 months to get the website. So was that how long it took to build the website, or was it just to finalise the brand and the kind of style of it? Was there a lot to going backwards and forwards between you and your designer, or did you already have quite a clear idea of what you wanted to do with the website at the beginning?
Yeah, I had a really clear idea until I spoke to my designers, and then that idea completely changed. So the 3 months was brand and website, but the brand had to be done first, the fonts had to be right, and that probably took a good month to get right, and then the website developed from there.
The website itself, Paul, I mean, it's got some fantastic features on there, which I really love. I mean, one of the things I do love is sort of the quick links to social media that's on there as well. Also, down the bottom, you've got some things like the calculator, which I think is fantastic as well. A Dropbox for the email as well, so people can instantly sort of drop an email straight into your inbox that you can pick up on as well. But one thing I do love, it's educational as well, because one thing I've come across as well is that, people are a little bit sort of unaware of the online world or what it can do for their clients. So just what inspired you sort of do the educational piece as well, and what would you say to sort of other accountants to help with that education with their new business clients in the online world?
Before I did this website, I'd actually looked at many accountants' websites, especially in our local area, and there are so many websites that say how wonderful they are, how well qualified they are, and how fantastic they are as accountants, but actually don't say what they can do for the end user. So part of my brief was that I didn't want that. I wanted to actually give a little bit of value on that website, and hopefully that's come across. It sounds like it has, which is great. The other side of it is the social media. As you know, we're prolific on social media. And without social media, we can't point people to our website, and particularly around the blogs side of it, the blog part of our website is probably the main used feature, and then when we use that with social media, the spikes are fantastic.
Mm-hmm. Well, what I would say about for anyone that doesn't know who I am or what I do, my job here at Sage One is content and social media. That's my job, is to write blogs and to share what we do through social media. So I'm doing that every day of the week, and they call it content marketing or inbound marketing, and that works really well for us, because been averaging roughly a blog a day. I'm not saying yourself, you're obviously a busy guy, you can't do that, but I'm averaging roughly a blog a day, and we're writing about what's new with Sage One, also latest news and legislation, business tips and advice, all kinds of stuff, that interviews with people like yourself as well, Google Plus Hangouts, anything and everything we can think of to demonstrate our expertise and value for the end user when they're using Sage One. And that does bring a lot of traffic to our website just from organic search, Google search, but also it gives us lots of things to share on social media as well. So I think it's really smart that you're using that. Like you say, it's the blog, and not just the blog, other pages on your website, you very clearly explain who you are and how you can add value to someone that works with you. And we can have a look at your website in a minute. We can try a little screen share and we can talk through a few things there. Just the last thing I'd say about social media, I think you're really good on Twitter as well, is that you're making the most of the Sage One hashtag. So for anyone that doesn't know how Twitter works, anyone can create a hashtag or you can include one in your tweets. But if you put hash Sage One as a single word, then anyone who's searching for Sage One information will see that tweet. And that includes people like myself. So I'm constantly looking on Twitter for people who are talking about Sage One, and then that means that I see Paul's tweets and I'll retweet them to my followers or to Sage's followers as well. So you're actually amplifying your reach by doing things like that. So if anyone's watching this and they want to get some retweets and gain some extra new followers, if you tweet about Sage One, then I'll retweet you, and then before you know it, you'll have built up your following a little bit.
Yeah, I think social media for me, you know, a lot of people are a little bit reluctant with it. They say it's more of a hindrance than a help. And you know, the best way I describe social media is that, you know, there's a room full of tables, and every table's having a different conversation. But out of those conversations, you'll overhear somebody else talking about something that interests you, so you'll involve yourself into that conversation as well as the conversation that you're having. So, you know, we call them hashtags, and that's what we say, you know, those conversations are hashtags. So if you look for a hashtag of something that interests you, such as accountancy or bookkeeping, you'll see other people talking about it, and then you follow those people to, you know, be more involved in that conversations, and then it becomes noise. The more noise that you make, the more people will hear you having that conversation, and that's how you gain more followers. I think that's the most simplistic way that I speak about Twitter. But you know, the other ones that are, I think, essential in business, you know, if you don't want to go out there and blitz Google Plus, YouTube, the whole kit and caboodle, you know, the more essential ones are Twitter. LinkedIn is the most essential one, because that is sort of becomes your business profile. If anybody's going to do a lot of research online, if they'll see your business, they'll then go onto LinkedIn to see who you are as a person and see what your background is and what your sort of repertoire is like. And then the third one, which is more of a presence than I think is more of a help, is Facebook. You know, I think Facebook's more personal than it is business, but it's important to have a presence there. So if there is three that I would choose from, they would be my three, and that's probably the best way I would describe those.
It's a good analogy, Paul. How are you? How do you find it? What's working the best for you?
It's quite interesting when you speak to other professionals in you know, in our profession. Most of them, I would say 99% say Twitter doesn't work. It doesn't work for me. But then when you actually explain why you're using it, the light bulb effect comes in. I don't use Twitter to gain more business, and that sounds a bit odd. What I wanted to do is put Twitter out there to say that I'm not a grey-suited normal accountant. So, you know, I talk about other things like, you know, walking the dog, playing golf, family, that sort of thing as well, so that people can relate to me. Now, that might not give me direct clients, but certainly when I go to networking events, that sort of thing, they have seen my Twitter, and you'd be surprised how many people see your social media. The Facebook page, we use that a lot as an extension to our website. So we put a lot of graphics on there, photographs, that sort of thing. That works really well. And LinkedIn is probably the more serious side, although everything is serious really in terms of full marketing. But the LinkedIn, we've probably got more clients from LinkedIn, and our content is probably more serious on LinkedIn than the other two formats. And we're trying to use Google Plus a bit more, purely to keep our SEO up on the website. So, you know, we're very much aware of social media and work it that way.
Mm-hmm. Well, you seem to be doing it well. I would echo those sentiments as well. Like for me and for Sage on Twitter is a really good way for reaching new people. And when you look at the analytics, it does bring traffic to our website, but it doesn't bring anywhere near as much traffic as just Google search. So that's why for us content is king. You know, having blogs, a regularly updated website, a well-built website, all optimized for SEO, that is the best thing to do. But definitely fresh content on there, new blogs works really, really well. But Twitter definitely is really good for raising awareness and building our profile and raising our awareness of our brand and the fact that Sage One exists. But I also find it really, really good as a communication tool as well. I actually really don't like email, but Twitter is fantastic for me. I do a lot of business and just through Twitter, just sending people tweets, inviting them to get involved in things like these Hangouts, sending them direct messages, sending them links to articles that I've written, and that works really, really well for me and for Sage One. And I've been to loads of events where I feel like I already know the person, but I've never actually met them in the real life. We've just been following each other and sharing information and helping each other on Twitter for months. And Facebook is, the way I think of Facebook is, it's a really good way of keeping people interested who are already interested. So if people have already liked your Facebook page because they like what you do, then that's a way to keep them informed of what's new. So like you said, whenever you've got, it's an extension of your website, whenever you've got some news or you've been to an event or you've got a new blog, share that on Facebook, and images work really, really well on Facebook. Social media in general is becoming more and more visual, so nice photos, videos always go down well. And then LinkedIn, like you say, is much more kind of serious, but it's more a demonstration of your expertise. So I just think of that as people are checking that out to see if you do have the credentials and you do have the background to do a good job, particularly recommendations. If you've got some excellent recommendations on there, then that can make a big difference to whether you get new clients or not. So I would encourage people to make sure their LinkedIn profile is up to date and to ask clients to leave positive recommendations for them, because it will make a difference. And Google Plus is a funny one. Like, I don't meet many people who use Google Plus or understand what it is, but we actually had some training from some guys at Google who gave us some quite in-depth training, and I would say the number one reason to use Google Plus is because it's Google. So if you share your content on Google, and if you get people to click the +1 button, which means that they like it, they think it's good, then it will make a difference. It will boost your rankings and improve your SEO a little bit. But my favorite feature of Google Plus is Hangouts. I love Hangouts like this. It's just a really informal way to share useful and information with a wide audience. So yeah, that's working really well for us.
Well, if I can just ask the question, before we look at your website, a question that I guess asked by a lot of accountants, and of course I don't want you to put an exact figure on this. What's the good sort of price to pay for a good designed, strong website? I see a lot of people outsource social media, and I ask them, not to do that because it becomes quite generic. And at the end of the day, it's as simple as sending a text message. So, thinking about sort of the website, what's a good sort of range of price to pay for it? What would you say?
Crikey. I suppose it all depends what area you live in as well. I would say that mine came with all branding, what have you, and it's around about sort of £4,000 mark. So if you want a serious website, you've got to pay reasonable money. I wasn't interested in all singing, all dancing tax calculations. That the website is there to attract new business and to keep the clients informed. So I've not paid for a monthly subscription website, which I had before, which was also very good, but it was, as you say, fairly generic. So yeah, it was built from the ground upwards, this one.
Okay. Should we try doing a screen share? I've not actually done this before on Google Plus, so fingers crossed it'll work. But let's have a look.
It works.
Okay. Can you see your website there? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So this is your homepage. The first thing I would is it's really clear from your homepage what it is and what you're offering. Just from the headline: compliant, fixed fee, award-winning online account software and accounting service for startups and small businesses. So you're really clearly setting out your stall about what it is that you do. Like Stephen said, on the right-hand side, you've got the social sharing icons, which is really good. I think they appear on pretty much every page on your website. So if someone likes what they see, they can share it on LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, and this little icon means it can share it in a whole lot of other ways as well. Then
just say, Paul, that the website is the new technology. It moves, so it moves with iPhones, smartphones, tablets, etc.
all right, so it resizes depending on
Yeah.
which yeah.
That's very important as well. Like I say, when I talk to accountants, I say, you know, live your customer's journey. You know, like if Paul the flower shop wants to start up tomorrow, he's just left university. You know, the first thing he does, he's going to pull out his mobile phone and, you know, Google accountants in the area. And then if he looks at your website on a mobile phone and the font's all over the place, and, you know, there's overlapping pages, so it's very conscious to be to how it shows on a laptop and a phone as well, definitely.
Mm-hmm. And then below that, you've really clearly set out 3 different types of business. So are you a sole trader, are you a partnership, or are you a limited company? And you've explained, you've kind of gone into detail about the types of issues that they might be facing, and also you've explained which type of products would be the right one for them to use. So you've got Sage 1 Cashbook for sole traders, you've got Sage 1 Accounts for partnerships, or Sage 1 Accounts for limited companies. But they're just suggestions, and then underneath each one, you link it through to further information. Underneath that, you've got a really nice photo of yourself with your, did you say Rubens Red, or is that a pink shirt? You've got your,
That one is
you've got your Rubens Red shirt there. And but yeah, you've got some really great things here. UK's #1 online accountant. So because you won an award from Sage for all the work that you've been doing to promote Sage 1. So I mean that's a big tick in the box there. Highly commended British Accountancy Awards as well, and people can find out more about that. I think Stephen, you talked about this before, about the online account savings calculator as well. Do you want to talk a little bit more about why you like that?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the price thing is a whole other sort of question about what service model, what business model you build for your clients. You know, and what you do very well, Paul, is that you've sort of segregated into sort of sole trader and limited size companies, and you know that's attractive to a client, because one thing I see on accountants' websites and bookkeepers' websites is that they don't put prices on there. You know, there's very rare you'll come across a sort of tell you exactly what you could be paying or what's the minimum you're going to be paying. So what you do very well is that calculator says, right, well, I know if I'm a client and I know how much I'm paying my accountants, that gives them an interactive thing to say, right, it looks more attractive because you can actually save me money on what I'm doing. So it basically entices customers from the very first to say, right, I could be saving some money here. And another question I was going to come on to as well, you know, on the service side of it, is that you're very transparent with your prices. And I always get accountants asking, so, well, how can you be transparent with prices when you've got to do a sort of customized sort of pricing for some clients, you know? What you do very well is you are transparent with those prices, and I think that works. If I put myself in my own shoes for a second, you know, I was looking for a chiropractor the other day, and I went on 3 or 4 chiropractors' websites, and none of them had prices on, but the one that did, it made it more attractive to me, because then I don't have to make another phone call to find out what the price is. I know what the price is, so I can just phone up and make an appointment. So yeah, just about, if you just say a little bit about prices, and you know what makes you put your price on there, and what would you say to accountants that sort of hide their prices?
Well, bear in mind the entire service is an online service, and it's a competitive market out there. So basically, I've packaged the entire compliance service together. I know how it works. I've had a lot of experience over that, and using Sage 1 with the online side, I know what to expect. So I can pretty confidently, you know, say this is what the price is going to be, and then there's no surprises. And we also have another guarantee whereby if we don't quote a price up front, then the client doesn't have to pay it. So that, you know, pricing is all up front, it's all agreed up front, and there's no hassle over being paid, and everything is paid by direct debit. So, you know, the entire payments cycle and any surprises that come up are completely, you know, taken away from that process. And that's where a lot of aggravation comes in with us as accountants, professional services.
Mm-hmm.
I think one of the things I say is that because a lot of the accountants and bookkeepers I speak to, they're bogged down with data entry. And I think they think to themselves, how long is this data going to take me to enter into this piece of software? Where in the online world, you're giving that power back to the client. But like you say in some of the videos you've done for us, you may have a little pinch on your costs, but that pinch on your costs is actually warranted by freeing up time by not sitting there doing hours and hours of data entry. So if anything, you're getting time back by doing that. So that's how, some sort of costs I'm seeing in the market now are a lot more smaller than sort of your 30, 40, 50 pounds that some bookkeepers and accountants charge for doing data entry. I've seen them as little as £18 for an entry-level sole trader customer now, and it is to attract lots and lots of small businesses at a low cost, and then work with those clients to grow them into sort of other things like VAT, into sort of accounts production, final accounts. So it is a case of being able to attract lots of small businesses at a low cost, and that looks attractive to a small business as well.
Yeah. Well, yeah, definitely. I mean, I would say as well that particularly with the online stuff, people just want all the information up front. They want to do the shopping. They want to find out everything. They want to without having to make that phone call or without having to send that email. So it is really smart that you're putting everything up front like that. The other things I'll just quickly talk about is you made it really easy for people to get in touch as well. You've got all your social media icons there. You've got your accreditations. This I really like as well, that you've obviously got the link straight through to sign up for a free 30-day trial of Sage 1, and then other links to get more information about the different services. And I'll just very quickly talk about this page here that I really liked. I was looking at it again last night. Your 10 reasons to go online. This is the kind of thing I was thinking we could probably need to pull together in somewhere on our Sage 1 site, because we do it in lots of different ways, but you just really clearly laid out all the benefits and value of using cloud-based accounts and payroll software here. And then, so if you're reading through that, you think, well, yeah, of course I want all of that. I want peace of mind. I want more cost-effective solutions. I want stress-free accounts. And then underneath that, well, lo and behold, here's a solution for you: a 30-day free, no-commitment trial of Sage 1. So it's there's lots more to your website. There's your blog as well, which you mentioned, which is great, and the way you've laid it out for different types of customer, I think is really smart. But is there anything else that Stephen or Paul, do you want to talk about about your website that you particularly like?
No, like I said, that's the educational piece that I do like. It's, we'll come from a desktop world that we've built over 20 years, so the online world is new and different, and that educational piece is very important. They've got to understand why it's better to be online and what the difference is between desktop. But at the end of the day, it's about choice as well, so that's from a Sage perspective. We still have desktop and we still have online, so it is a choice for sort of your traditional customers versus customers that want to step into the online world. So we've got to have that choice message. But I understand why Paul's made the step into online going forward, because that is the next 20 years worth of business as well. But I love the educational piece about it, definitely, because that is part of my role, is to educate everybody into this world. So yeah, I was really keen on that part of the website, definitely.
Yeah. Paul, is there anything you want to add to that?
No, I mean, I love the website, and the guys that have been involved with me to develop it, I'm sure they're going to love to see this Hangout. So yeah, no, really enjoyed it. The blogs, to me, is where we need to develop, and the next stage of the website has got to be there's got to be some video on there. There isn't much video. In fact, there isn't any video. So that's our next step.
Right. Well, you've got a video here that you can maybe include. So once it's finished, I'll share the link with you, so you can embed this into one of your blogs, perhaps.
I may even tweet it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's it from me. I just wanted to say thanks again, Paul, and well done for everything you're doing. I think you're doing everything right. You are, like, for me, the perfect example of what we want accountants to be doing with Sage 1. So thanks again for all your work, and well done. It seems to be working very well for you as well.
Thank you.
Thanks very much, Paul. I appreciate your time with this, and it's going to help a lot of people there. Definitely, they've been very keen on your website, like I say, when I've been showing it to other accountants. And for me, you know, from a sales perspective and from a business development manager perspective, is that every accountant and bookkeeper in this country that witnesses this video, you've got a business development manager in your region that can help you with this. You know, we can talk about social media, we can help you build your online space. And Sage is drawing up a partnership now with it called ExpressWeb, which is a development site that can help build a website with you as well, which will also include sort of in the follow-up with this. But if you go onto the Sage Exchange website and then look for ExpressWeb on there, that's an official partnership, and those guys would be more than happy to work with you on building a great website like Paul's, no problem.
Okay, great. Right, well, thanks a lot, guys. Thanks again for doing it, and I'll be sharing this on our blog and social media soon. Okay, cheers. Bye.
Thank you very much.
Cheers. Bye.